What's going on, fam? I had a bust in here real quick. No lie, while I was recording that, I ran into some new information. Check this out. A physicist from Harvard just recently announced that there is an alien mothership coming to Earth and it may be here this month. This is exactly why I did this video, because of stuff like this. Now, everything on this earth is not going to be knowable, right? But there are things in our grasp that is knowable, okay? And we got to do like the Bible says and prove all things, okay? It's better to look at the things ourselves when it's something that's knowable instead of just blindly believing these Luciferian Jesuit scientists, okay? Not everything's gonna be knowable, but there's gonna be certain things that are. Let me give you a few quick examples, okay? Now, I may talk about this a little bit later on in the video. I don't know where I'm gonna put this in at, but this is like breaking news right here. So here's a few examples of what I'm talking about. Now, the mainstream scientists used to always say, hey, if you want to see the curvature of the earth in action, all you got to do is go to the beach and watch the sunset. You'll watch the sun go around the other side of the ball. You'll see it start to set from the bottom of the sun towards the top because it's going over the curve. What do we actually experience though, family? Now that we have better optics, when the sun appears to set to our eyes, all we got to do is take our camera and zoom in. And when you zoom in, guess what happens? The sun actually unsets, right? The sun comes back up into view. Okay, now we know our camera's not a time machine. It's not going back in time. It's not rewinding the clock, anything like that. It's just the curvature of our vision that we're experiencing. Now, the easiest way to think about this is something as simple as standing on a level street and looking at the way that the street lights start to converge down. Now, if these light poles are measured, let's just say 20 feet apart, and we know that they are all the way down to the end of the block, right? What do we see, right? Eventually, as the light poles start to get closer to the end of the road, they look like the actual light sources start getting closer together. But we know they're 20 feet apart, right? So just because we see something visually does not mean that that's what the actual physics is, right? Because if you walk down to the end of that street, guess what's going to happen? The light poles are going to split up. They're going to start getting spaced out again because we see in the curved dome point of vision. And that's the same thing that the sun does, family. It looks like, if you ever take a time lapse of the sun, it looks like the sun is starting to go down, just like the light poles. But we know that the light poles are not physically going down behind the curvature of the earth. It's just starting to curve down to the vanishing line point of vision. Same thing with the sun. It's just curving down to the vanishing line point of vision. What it's actually doing is still going straight, just like the light poles is just still going straight. Because of our curved vision, it just optically appears to be going down, family. But people have actually recorded the sun doing something even more spectacular than that. People have actually recorded the sun literally disappearing into midair as it's setting. So think about that. Literally, there's videos of people recording the sunset, and they have noticed that if they zoom in, you can actually see the sun starting to set above the water line. The physical water line is here, and the sun is setting above it, not going behind it. The sun is literally setting in midair. But watch the way that the sun sets. Look at the way it sets. It's disappearing into the vanishing line. But what else do you notice? Take a look at the sides of the sun, the left side and the right side. What do you see? You see the sides of the sun actually dissipating at a faster rate than the center of the sun. But why is that happening? Think about it like this, family. What's the shortest distance between two objects? The shortest distance between two objects is a straight line. And if you're looking directly at the sun, the sides of the sun are further away than where you are because they're further from your point of vision. So we don't have to travel far to see the effects of this vanishing line, right? You can just go to your local boardwalk and watch a bike rider go over the bridge. And if you get down low enough, you can see him start slowly going off into the distance. But guess what happens? He flips upside down and he starts to melt into himself, right? Now, this is the same thing that we see with the sun happening. If you are close enough to the ground, the horizon line is closer to you. If you're higher up, the horizon line is further away. And what about long distance observations on the ocean? If you look down far enough, you start to see boats on the horizon, right? But if you zoom in even closer, take a look at, this is from the news, right? Them trying to explain what you're seeing. This boat literally looks like it's flying in mid-air, right? Obviously, this is a great example because boats do not fly. It's crazy, but they don't.
Boats flying? This ain't Peter Pan.
But notice the space directly under the boat. It's the same exact color as the sky around it, right? So you can't see the physical water that is on, but you know that it's on water, right? But because of the vanishing line and because of this boat's position, the vanishing line has already rendered the water that is directly on invisible due to perspective. And just real quick before we get back to our main video, scientists, mainstream scientists said that the sun is 93 million miles away, right? And they say from that distance, all the sunlight, all the sun rays come to Earth in a straight fashion, right? In a straight fashion. They say that the sun rays hit the Earth first at the equator. That's why it's so hot right there. And then look at the top and look at the bottom, right? They say it's colder at the poles because it takes the sunlight longer to travel to that, which makes sense if this is what we experience. But this is what we actually experience. Take a look at these corpuscular rays, right? Look at what we actually experience in the right conditions. What you see is you can almost triangulate the position of the sun. If what the scientists were telling us is actually true, then all sun rays should come in together vertically. I recorded this video myself, and what you don't see is vertical lines coming through to the surface. So quick fact, so how did they get the range 93 million miles away? How did they even get that, right? 93 million miles away? How did they come up with that number? This is what they don't want to tell you because it sounds as ridiculous as it looks, okay? They say they got the distance of 93 million miles away because they have a device to shoot radars at the sun and bounce it off the sun and receive that signal back. But what they don't want to tell you is the signal that they're looking for is already being read on the device before they even shoot the original signal, right? The feedback signal of the bounce that they are looking for is already showing up before they even initiate the test. So how can you say that we know the sun is 93 million miles away because we bounced it, got a signal back, when before you even shoot a signal, you already picking up a signal? That same signal that you supposedly are measuring. So this is a problem, right, family? Especially if you're a believer in the Bible, okay? It clearly says in Genesis 1:16 through 19 that he created the sun on creation day number 4, right? He created the heavens and the earth in the beginning on creation day 1, but he didn't create the sun and the moon, the greater light and the lesser light until day 4. So how is it we supposed to be spinning around chasing the sun when the sun was created 4 days later? Now we're gonna get back to the main video right now, guys, but I just want to hit you with this last one. The Big Bang model was created by Catholic Jesuits, devil worshippers. Look this up yourself. This is not a secret. And that theory clearly says that there's millions of years that pass in between creation, and that's how they get evolution, right? This big time span is where they can sneak in evolution. If you don't have this many years that pass by, evolution goes out the window, which we know is already debunked. And the simplest way to think about it is if they say a star is 13 billion light years away, if you break down the math, they're actually saying that that starlight is 13 billion years old. So you can't believe the billions of years of light distance if you don't believe that there's been billions of years that has elapsed.